All right, let's dive in. We're about to tackle what might be one of the most intense chapters in the entire Bible, Deuteronomy 13. And we're not just going to read it. Oh no, we're going to walk through it verse by verse and create this unforgettable visual journey that's going to stick with you. Ready? Let's go. So let me ask you something right off the bat. What is the price of loyalty? I mean, really think about that. Because this whole chapter, it's really built around that one single question. It's going to throw 3 different tests at us, each one getting more intense, all to find out where your loyalty really lies. Okay, so here's our first scene, the test of the prophet. And you got to understand, this isn't some quiet, subtle little test. This is big, it's public, it's dramatic. All right, verse 1. Picture this. You're in the middle of a bustling town square. Suddenly, this super charismatic guy, a prophet, steps up, and he tells the crowd he's going to show them a sign, a real wonder from the heavens. Now, you need to see this clearly in your mind's eye. A man pointing up at the sky, a comet streaking behind him. This isn't just some guy making a prediction. No, this is a test. And the stakes, they couldn't be higher. So, we move to verse 2. And, wow, it happens. The sign he promised, it comes true. Imagine that comet from the last scene. Now it's actually there, hovering over this strange foreign idol. The prophet just proved he has some kind of power. The crowd is absolutely captivated. And right at that moment, when he has everyone's attention, he plays his hand. He says, let's go after other gods. Okay, so what is really going on here? Verse 3 is where we get the answer. This whole thing, it's a setup. The verse is crystal clear. The Lord your God is testing you. God is basically asking, do you love me for me, or can I lose you to a flashy magic trick? So let's picture someone in that crowd. See their face, their eyes wide, totally torn between this amazing thing they just saw and what they know in their hearts to be true. So what do? How do you pass this test? Verse 4 gives you the playbook, and it's got 4 clear steps. 1, you walk after God. 2, you fear him. 3, you keep his commandments. 4, you obey his voice. That's it. It's about staying on the path. For our visual, just picture a pair of feet walking straight and steady, leaving all that chaos with the prophet and the comet behind them. And what about that prophet? Well, verse 5 is blunt. He's to be put to death. But the why is so important here. This isn't just about revenge. The text says it's to put away the evil from your midst. It's like a surgeon removing a cancer to save the body. So for this scene, imagine that prophet's figure just dissolving into dust. And as he vanishes, the sky behind him clears up. The threat is gone. Okay, get ready for a big shift. We're moving from the public square into the private home. The threat gets quiet, personal, and a whole lot more painful. This is the whisper of betrayal. And man, this is where it gets gut-wrenching. Verse 6 lays it out. Who's the one tempting you now? It could be your brother, your son or daughter, your spouse, your absolute best friend. The enemy isn't a showman in the town square anymore. It's someone you love. See it in your mind. A close-up shot. A brother whispering into another's ear. His face half hidden in shadows. It's chilling. So what are they whispering? Verse 7 tells us the exact words. Let us go and serve other gods. And it even specifies it could be the gods of your neighbors or gods from some faraway land. The point is, the temptation is everywhere. Imagine a map popping up with your home in the center and all these lines shooting out to different symbols of foreign gods, near and far. The threat is surrounding you. The response required here in verse 8 is just brutal. It's a list of 5 do nots. Do not agree, do not even listen, do not feel sorry for them, do not spare them, and do not hide what they're doing. There is 0 room for compromise. The visual for this is simple but powerful, a hand raised, palm out in a firm, undeniable stop gesture, pushing back against that whisper. And if you thought that was tough, verse 9 takes it to a whole other level. It says that person must be killed. But here's the kicker, the part that's so hard to read. Your hand shall be first against him. You, the one who is tempted by your own loved one, have to be the one to start the process. The image for this? One hand open. Then another hand is placed on top of it. Then another, and dozens more, showing that the community joins in, but it starts with you. Verse 10 gets specific. It explains the method, stoning, and gives the reason. This is so important. The crime isn't just having a different belief. The crime is actively trying to pull you away from your God. It's an act of spiritual treason. We don't need to be graphic here, so for the visual, just a single stone on the ground and then the shadow of another falling over it. The action is implied. So why does it have to be this way? Verse 11 gives the reason. It's a deterrent. It's so that all Israel shall hear and fear. This tragic, awful event is meant to be a lesson for the entire nation, a warning to prevent this kind of betrayal from ever happening again. Let's visualize that as sound waves radiating out from a single point across a map of the nation. The message is spreading. Okay, now for the third and final act. This scale is about to explode. We've gone from one person to a family, and now the corruption has taken over an entire city. This is the city that fell. So, verses 12 and 13. Imagine you hear a rumor, a really bad one. Word on the street is that in one of the cities, some corrupt men have managed to convince everyone, the entire city, to abandon God and worship other idols. The visual here is like a map of a city seen from above, and you see these dark, smoky tendrils creeping out from one house and spreading to all the others until the whole place is covered. But wait. Before anyone rushes to judgment, verse 14 slams on the brakes. This is so important. It demands a full investigation. 3 words: inquire, search out, and ask diligently. This isn't about mob rule. You have to be absolutely sure the rumor is true and certain. Let's see that as 3 icons: a magnifying glass for inquire, a map for search out, and a question mark for ask diligently. You have to do your homework. But what if it's true? If the investigation proves the city has rebelled, verse 15 lays out the consequence, and it is absolutely grim. The command is to destroy every single inhabitant of that city and all of its livestock. Imagine a drawing of that city's skyline, and a crack just appears right down the middle, and it all starts to fade away. And it doesn't even stop with the people. Verse 16 says you have to gather up everything of value, all the plunder, and burn it all with the city. The goal isn't just to punish, it's to completely erase it. The verse says it should become a heap forever, it shall not be built again. For this, picture a pile of treasure in the city square, being completely engulfed in flames until there's nothing left but a smoking mound of dirt. Why? Why such complete and total destruction? Verse 17 gives us the spiritual logic. This extreme act is meant to turn away God's fierce anger. It's like a national sacrifice to prove their loyalty and restore the relationship. By cutting out the corruption, the rest of the nation can receive mercy and blessings again. The visual, a big, angry storm cloud that slowly recedes, letting a single ray of sun break through and shine on a tiny little sapling, a sign of new life. And that brings us to the final verse, verse 18, which ties it all together. It says that by following these incredibly difficult commands, you are listening to God and, crucially, to do what is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. That's the key. So let's picture a simple, perfectly balanced scale. That's what this is all about. Obedience leading to righteousness. And that's the line that everything in this chapter hangs on. To do what is right in the eyes of the Lord your God. It really forces you to ask, what does that mean? What does it mean when your own feelings, your own relationships run headfirst into a divine command? It's a heavy question. So there you have it, from the big public show of the prophet to the quiet, painful whisper of a loved one, all the way to a whole city falling into ruin. You know, it's really easy to look at Deuteronomy 13 and just call it barbaric and move on. But maybe, just maybe, it's also a powerful, unforgettable story about just how high the stakes of loyalty can be. It's challenging, it's provocative, and it's a chapter that once you've really walked through it, it's pretty hard to forget.